Are you the kind of person who clicked off a porn video from Pornhub and clicked on this video in hopes to eliminate porn addiction? Or you might be a person that gets stimulated and aroused by the words porn and Pornhub. If you are this person, then you need to understand what porn addiction is. This level of conditioning by the virtual world is really critical to understand, address, and then resolve. Because this is destroying young boys, and it's also destroying the whole humanity. Let's just start off with some hard facts about porn and porn visits. Now I have this article pulled up, and it says there are at least 2.4 billion visits on average each month on Pornhub. This is alarming. Another one was there was thousands of visits per second. Actually, right now at this second, thousands of people are watching porn. Thousands in 1 second. And over the year, it accumulates to about so many billion people wasting their time on Pornhub. As I go and search more, I also see that porn sites have more visitors than Netflix, which clearly shows virtual porn and the access of porn and access of this virtual sex is hyper-stimulating. It's damaging a brain. When a brain is addicted to some substance or anything, it wants more of that substance, and that's a sign of a damaged brain. And when you have a lot of these damaged brains, it creates broken society. And one of the key things that needs to be addressed right now is the relationship between young boys and porn. So many boys in this day and age, boys, I'm telling you, before puberty, it's before, and even before they reach 18, and even before they reach adulthood, they experience porn. Some or most of them become porn addicts. This issue has to be raised. Porn is making young boys less masculine in the future because they don't know what real sex is about. They are depending on this fake virtual sex and then trying to learn from them and applying it to the real world. Actually, they're creating their worldview of sex based on the porn videos they watch. The more they get deeper into that rabbit hole, the worse their brain gets and the worse their perspective of a woman and sex gets. In this video, I am going to provide you 5 amazing ways to turn your life back around and quit porn forever. And I say these tips will give you guaranteed results if you do them. And if you don't even attempt, it's not going to work, because this is a very, very touchy subject. This is a mental disorder. Porn addiction has to be a mental disorder. That's why so many of them are addicted to it and they can't quit porn. You're hooked. So let's just understand porn addiction first. So porn addiction is basically a habit, like any addiction. And in that, what happens in your brain is that there is loss of connectivity between your executive parts of the brain and your limbic system. Your limbic system is the animal brain. Your executive part of the brain, the cortex, controls the limbic system, the animal brain. And when there is a loss of this connectivity, you have a harder time to remove certain behaviors from your life. So I have talked about meditation before, and meditation is a good way, a good habit that has to be done every single day so that you can actually have a tool that rewires your brain. Let's just get back to porn addiction now. This habit is really cyclic, right? it's actually conditioned, right? The idea of masturbating and watching porn together is highly conditioned, and it is tied to environment, time, location. So you would notice that your behavior of watching porn and masturbating is tied to a particular location, a particular time, a particular environment. So let's say when you enter your room, right, you get this feeling and desire to watch porn and masturbate. Your room is a source of, actually it's a trigger to make you watch porn. And even social media, it is a trigger. Anything that evokes the feelings and the desire to watch porn and masturbate is a trigger. And that's where it all starts. And when you have that trigger, you will do it. Unless you can control your head and say no. You have to say no to your behavioral desires, to your behavioral responses, because you will respond unknowingly to your triggers. You will get aroused at anything if you're conditioned. Now, I gave you an example of how you will be you are conditioned. When you enter your room, you feel aroused just because you have done this a million times. When you're alone, when you're in a room, and when your room is dark, you get this feeling and desire of getting under your comforter and watching a million porn videos. Actually, I think some people scroll to find that perfect porn video. It's actually kind of funny when you're off porn addiction to think about how you would spend a million hours, 3-4 hours, to find the perfect video that'll make you aroused and ejaculate. Just so funny. I can laugh, but I can't, because I have experienced that before in myself. I have been of porn addiction for 1 year and probably 4 months. This year has been a golden year for me. And I just follow these 5 steps that I'll show you. You experience a lack of motivation as well. When you ejaculate, you are releasing semen, first of all. Semen has a high concentration of mitochondria. Mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, middle school biology. It requires so much, you're losing so much energy in an ejaculation. And it is occurring every single time. Some people ejaculate every single day, many times of the day. Your motivation level sucks. You're lower than baseline. Your potential, you're lower than an average person. Just because you indulge in this over energy draining activity. And neurochemically, your dopamine levels are down, because there's a down regulation property going on. Because once you watch porn, once you have that instant release of dopamine, there's a down regulation of dopamine in your brain. That also creates this lack of motivation in you. And over time, you have low testosterone. There are many studies, I'm not going to go into the neuroscience and physiology and biology of porn addiction and ejaculation, but over time, your testosterone will be low. You'll be less masculine. So we understood porn addiction really well now. Number 1, disclose to someone, a loved one, a family member, or a therapist, that you are a porn addict. When you say those words out to a person that you care about or a therapist, you are much likely to reverse and quit porn addiction. They will keep you accountable for your actions because they care about you. A therapist is the best way to go. However, a therapist is really expensive, less accessible, and it is also not the best option for many people. We need accessibility. We need affordability. Therefore, my best bet is to disclose to someone who you truly love or a family member. A truly love meaning or your partner is the best way to go. Because if you have a partner who hates porn, you are much likely to not do it just because she or he, I'm talking about, this video is primarily for young men, and so this is really crucial. Your partner should not like porn at all, because anything that will trigger your neural circuits that made you a porn addict, anything that will trigger the activity, the behavior. If you have a partner who likes porn, and if you like porn, and if you always wanted to quit porn, you will have a much harder time to get on this self-improvement journey that you always wanted to embark on. Number 2, get into a relationship, preferably long term. Because if you are into hookups and casual sex, there's a high chance that you'll get addicted to sex. And it's not a good replacement. A good replacement for porn addiction is a healthy relationship with a good woman. So many of people will say, oh no, I feel like porn is better. Like, do you really think that porn is better than a real relationship? It is much better to have a long-term relationship than be a porn addict. Just think about that. And if you're currently a porn addict in a relationship, then that relationship is not good for you. Just because you're watching this video sends a signal that you really don't care about your partner, or you're not in a position to have a relationship right now. Just don't do it for the partner and for yourself. It's not worth it to be an addict and have a relationship together, and you can't even, in many times people will like lie to their partners about their issues, about their porn addiction issues, and that's not a healthy relationship either. As I talked about disclosing it to someone, if your partner understands that you have porn addiction, and if she could get past over it, good. The next step is to quitting porn addiction and not getting back to it. No, it shouldn't be okay to watch porn and your partner accepts it. Because as I talked about, your partner will be a source of positive self-improvement. Also, this is really important too. We're not trying to get in a relationship just for sex and to fuel our lust and have more sex. That's not the goal of getting into a relationship. And if you are kind of person who wants to do a relationship or wants to get a relationship just because you want more sex, then you should focus on nothing. You should focus on not getting a relationship at all, because you will hurt the partner in the future just because your main motive was to obtain sex. Now, what I am trying to say in this is that having a relationship with a positive partner that you love, the love should overpower or should outweigh porn. That's what I'm trying to get at. Like, I know it sounds really magical. I know it sounds really like maybe a little bit less masculine. Maybe being masculine is sometimes not about love. It's about a hard mindset. But I think when love overpowers porn, then everyone wins. And I think it is a really good aim to get in a relationship with a person that you can love and see a future with, rather than having short, casual relationships that are of no meaningless at all. Hookup culture is obviously bullshit. I have to make a separate video on that. Like, it's just doesn't make sense. Sex also shouldn't be part of your relationship. It shouldn't be the center of relationship. I realize that every single day as my relationship goes on with my partner, that sex is not the center of anything. It is crucial, but it's not that important. At the end of the day, it's not the center, because if you look forward to sex every single time when you're meeting your partner, I really think that you will become a sex addict. Just how your brain works. It's just association, and it's just conditioning. It's all psychology and neuroscience. What that has taught me What those two fields have taught me is incredible. Like, it's, your addiction could be transferable. You know that people who are smokers may have drug addiction. So yeah, so some addictions are really transferable. So you have to really be careful of what you're trying to get at. Also, I know it's this is a lot of information and it's going to be a long video, but when you are in a relationship, you will meet more people. Your social circle will get bigger. And when your social circle gets bigger, you will instantly have no time to actually sit alone and have those negative thoughts. And you will over time indulge on less porn and actually eliminate it. Actually, that's the goal. Let's talk about the partner in that relationship quick. The partner should have a really negative perspective about porn again. This is really important because we don't want a partner who just wants to have sex all day, or who just wants to have, or accepts porn. That also. Even though you are a porn addict or you were a porn addict, your partner should be able to accept that fact and get over that fact. However, the partner should also be against relapsing. Now, this is really key. Relapsing is really hard, because it is really disrespectful for the partner when you relapse, and if you're in a relationship. And so when you have a partner of that mindset and that perspective, you will have a better time quitting porn addiction. You will get better and better and better when you are with a partner who is opposed to porn. Actually, you'll become more masculine over time. Being in a relationship will allow you to quit masturbating as well. When you are in a relationship and when sex is not the center of that relationship, you have to make a promise to yourself that you will only pleasure yourself when you're having sex. You have to understand this. Masturbation, porn, waste of time. Sex with a meaningful person, highly meaningful. You have to understand this. Society cannot normalize masturbation and porn, hookups, casual dating. Society, this has to stop, because this is creating broken society and broken young men who can't be masculine in the future. So we have to normalize sex with a meaningful partner. We have to normalize long-term relationships, and in that way we will be able to create masculine men again. Number 3, you have to remove people from your life who were porn addicts or who are porn addicts, because you never know, they can relapse and then influence you. And you never know that when you're still friends with people who are porn addicts, it's just going to be really harder for you to get off porn. I'm trying to encourage people to have a strong mindset, and we are not talking about quitting porn day by day. It is a strong mindset. You have to cut porn today and right now. It's not going to happen in 30 days. It's not going to happen in 3 days. It's going to happen today, right now. And so you have to eliminate all access. That means you have to eliminate all triggers. You have to eliminate all your friends. It's better to be alone and not be a porn addict than have friends. Just because you don't know, you have not studied enough psychology and neuroscience to understand how your brain works. Your brain is more evil than good, because effort requires so much energy in your brain, and lack of effort and just scrolling through porn videos doesn't require any effort at all. So you have to put effort into eliminating friends who were previous porn addicts. Your friends from middle school and high school, they're average or they're below average. Do you really want to be average? Do you really want to be average? You, growing up, you had dreams to become something, to embark on a self-improvement journey, to get a good job, to make good money. But that will only happen if you become strong-minded and masculine. And And having friends who are porn addicts will not make you successful at all. The friends you have are still boys. They will influence you to watch porn at all stages of your life just because they like it. We don't want to like porn. We have to be opposed to porn. We have to say no at some point in your life. You have to say no at some point in your life. So it's the best thing you eliminate your friends. Also this idea of removing people is way easier than adding new people in your life. So this is why this tip works, that removing certain people, eliminating them, is far easier than adding people. Adding people is a lot of effort. You're adding something new in your life. It's gonna take a long time. Getting new friends who are not porn addicts, who are better than you, will take a long time and will require some sort of communication skill. And so eliminating people is much easier. That's why we're gonna do this. Number 4, try social media fasting. I talked about social media fasting in one of my previous videos. And the idea is that you are not indulging in social media for majority of the chunk of the day. Because what is happening? There is a problem with Instagram. There is a problem with Instagram's search page. There is a lot of recommendation for girls who are basically half naked, who have perfect bodies, which does not exist in the real world. Okay? Instagram is a micro environment of fake influencers who have perfect bodies. Top 1% or top 5% of women with best bodies, they're not even best, but best bodies, you'll find on Instagram search page. So what is that? It's a visual cue, it's a visual trigger that will fire your neural circuits and make you porn addict again. OnlyFans is just disrespect to the whole human race. It's gonna create more insecure young boys. It's gonna create more insecure young girls. It's gonna ruin the whole perspective on relationship, dating, love, family. It is gonna ruin everything. And so try social media fasting. We are trying to avoid triggers. This is about quitting porn addiction, and the only way you can quit porn addiction is by removing all access to triggers. And that's why we are trying social media fasting. This is a way to reserve your dopamine levels so you can work productively in the morning and not ejaculate and watch porn first thing in the morning. Number 5, make clear goals and achieve them. This is highly masculine. You create goals, you complete them. You create a strong mindset. Every 3 months you create goals, whether it is a health goal, whether it is a knowledge goal, whether it is a weight loss goal, whether it is a career goal, whether it is a money goal. Create goals. Work on them. You'll be masculine. Many young boys are porn addicts and they don't even know what to do with for their life. What do I want to do with your life is a question that need to be addressed when you're young. What interests you? What excites you? What do you want to be? Do you want to be a YouTuber? Do you want to be a doctor? Do you want to be an artist? Like, what do you want to be? Just decide and work on it. Because looking back, I'm 22. Life went by so fast. Inflation, recession, making money, all these topics, gas prices. When you will enter your adult life, it's going to be so harder for you just because you have ruined your life in porn. This is the time to quit porn and work on things. This is the time to take control of your life. This is the time to create new goals, to choose a career path and stick to it. This is the time to make clear decisions and goals, because your mom and dad are not going to be with you holding your hand forever. Create a strong vision for yourself. Create what you want to do 5 years from now. What kind of impact do you want to have on other people? Have a big vision, big picture stuff. You have to be impactful, valuable, and influential to the society. Create a strong vision. Additionally, start going to the gym, because gym gives you so many goals. You're actively trying to create a goal. Hey, I want to gain like 10 pounds on my strength by next month. That's a goal. Do it. I want to do at least 5 pull-ups by the end of this year. I want to lose at least 10 pounds by the end of this year. Those are health goals that you need to take on. And when you start achieving goals, you'll get addicted to them. Just trust me, it's just a snowball effect. And the golden point of all this is that once you have completed so many of those goals and you keep achieving new goals, you just forget about porn. Whatever you see on a little box of screen, it's all bullshit, it's all crap. They're making money off your view time. They're making money off your attention. Your attention should be directed to your goals. So that's why I urge you to create goals, strong goals, career path. Decide on a career path. That's the strongest goal you can have. What do you want to do with your career? And honestly, if you're a porn addict and if you're unhappy with your career, and if you're not making enough money, then you have to start making enough money, and you have to change your career path, because so many of the time there's such correlation between your unhappiness around money and your unhappiness about career path, and that is like really aggravating your porn addiction. That is making your porn addiction worse, just because that your one aspect of life is not going well, or a few aspects of life you're not going well. Fix other problems in your life. Create goals to eliminate other problems in your life that is influencing and impacting your porn addiction. Porn will increase day by day. So what do you need to have? A strong mindset. A strong mindset will be essential in the next 10 years, 20 years, 50 years. Because it's gonna happen. There will be one day where on Instagram you'll be able to see naked pictures. It's gonna happen. There will be one day where people will just don't care about all this, and everyone will be seeing porn on Instagram. It's just gonna happen. And people who, it is just so weird that what humanity prefers. Like, it's just so weird. Like, this is what we have came to evolve. I feel like we're the most dumb species ever, because animals don't know what to do. They won't. See an animal be a sex addict? Like, you have not heard of that. We have came to evolve in such a weird way. I question that all the time. Lastly, I'm going to give this bonus tip. I was listening to this one podcast, Huberman Lab podcast, the world's greatest podcast on earth. Neuroscience, biology, health, exercise physiology, everything, all of above. Fantastic podcast. It was a podcast about addictions, and I feel like if the people if you're just really tired of porn, eliminate porn for 30 days straight, and you will see the results, incredible results. That 30 days of not watching porn will just change your brain. You will have to fight. It's like 30 days of no food, actually. You'll have cravings. You'll have these random thoughts. You'll be like sitting in a restaurant with your family, and you'll have a thought about porn. It's such a weird experience, but you need to try it. You need to try to rewire your brain. Meditation and this mental control, having this strong mental control, are your best friends, along with the 4 tips. The 4 tips are really, really like involving social aspect. Like, it's the 5 tips that I shared you are really the 4 or 5 tips I share you. They're really incorporating everyone around you. It's somehow, the social aspect somehow kind of also is a really good way to quit porn addiction. And so, young boys, stop watching porn. Fall in love. Work on goals. Create interests. Life is beautiful. And you can make life beautiful by doing the things that you want to do. You internally don't want to do this. You internally don't want to watch porn. But somehow, somewhere in you cannot fight your brain just because you basically have a mental disorder, and it's okay to accept that. People who cannot accept they are porn addicts are very hypocritical. Let me just tell you that. You have to understand, you can't just be biased that you are not a porn addict. Yes, you are. If you need porn every day, and if you need that hyperstimulation every day, hell yes, you're a porn addict. This also raises the question of alpha males. This idea is a shout out to Hamza. Hamza is a self-improvement YouTuber who I started encountering a few months ago, and his content is absolute best. His way of thinking about porn addiction and masturbation is that alpha males have sex, but beta males watch porn and masturbate. If the thought of you being a beta male as a porn addict hurts you and kind of disrespects your self-worth, then good, because you are a beta male if you are a porn addict. You have to be alpha male. You have to quit pornography. It is not doing any good to you. This idea is so true. Alpha males have much better things to do than watch porn and masturbate. Just imagine you watching a video of you watching porn. You're being a spectator. You're a third person. You're not even enjoying the sex. You are a third person jacking off. You're literally watching someone else having sex and getting aroused and having pleasure from that experience. It is so funny once you are off porn addiction, because you want to be masculine. You want to be in the position. The weird as it sounds, you want to be the person who is having sex. It's the truth. Stop being a beta male and take control of your situation. And remember that most people can solve their own problems, and so can you.